it's kind of like speaking in
Mm-hmm.
a way. So if I'm saying, hi, how are you? But 2 hours go by and I'm tired, I'm not going to say it in the same amount of energy.
Yeah.
Hi, how are you?
Mm-hmm.
I'm saying the same thing, but it's just a different version of it. So maybe thinking of the time and space of each phrase and how can we shift it a little bit so that it feels more like you. I sometimes just like speak the words out.
Mm-hmm.
Like if we're doing, I know we were talking about Valerie,
Mhm.
right? So if I'm saying, well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water.
Mhm.
I took pauses
Mhm.
at times because I was thinking of what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If I translate that to the song, it's the same. So if the original is, well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water. Let's say that that's just like the bass.
Yeah.
Let's pause it. Well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water. And I'm still in
Boom.
tempo.
Hey Voxstar, and welcome to From Singer to Artist. I'm Lara Chapman, award-winning singer and songwriter turned viral vocal coach and the host of this show. At VoxTape Studios, we help singers from all over the world level up their voices by teaching them the 3 fundamental skills all singers need: technique, awareness, and artistry. Whether you're looking to go pro or just develop your voice for fun, my team and I are here to help. Check the link in the description to book your first session or grab some of our other resources. Alrighty, are you ready? Let's get started. And today, Juliana is here with me. Welcome,
Hello.
Coach Juliana from our
Hi.
team. We're here in LA, in your
Yeah.
hometown.
Mhm.
And today we have a really cool topic that we're going to discuss. And I love that you're here with me to discuss this because I call you our artist coach. And,
Love that.
you know, because that's what you really enjoy working on. That's what you're really good at helping other people with, like helping them find their own sounds and, you know, not feel like they're copying other people and
Yeah.
stay authentic to themselves and all that. So our overarching topic today is how can you make a cover your own? And there's a lot that goes into it. And I think we need to start with, what song do you even pick in the first place, right?
Yeah.
Because like if you want to make a cover your own, well, we got to pick a song.
Start somewhere.
Start somewhere. Exactly. So how
First
do
song.
you do you have any tips for when it comes
Mhm.
to like picking a song that you want to sing?
Yeah. So I would say know your comfy range first. Just know where your voice shines the most, you know, that Prima Voce.
We have
Where's that Prima
sweaters.
Voce?
Yeah,
It's always in my head, dude. It's always in my head. I
I'm
love
looking for my voice type. What's my Prima Voce?
Exactly.
I love
it's good.
it.
It's
and
good.
we have it on sweaters. You know, the skeleton holding the
Yes.
microphone, still searching for my Prima
I love
Voce.
it. I love it. Hopefully you don't search too long after this episode.
There you go. There you go. Yes. So Prima Voce is the sweet spot of your voice, right? Where you feel the
Yes.
most comfortable, where you sound the
Shine.
best, feel the best, where your
Mhm.
voice shines, your
Exactly.
strengths, your sweet spot,
Mhm.
any which way you want to call it.
Yeah, and just like knowing kind of where that fits. Not the whole song has to be in that space. But just like most of it. So you don't have to strain, you don't have to reach too low, too high, and just be uncomfortable, because that's gonna make you uncomfortable and also the listeners. Like if you're not comfortable, they might not be comfortable too.
Yes.
So that's important.
Yes. Preaching to the choir right there. That is so important. Feel is everything. And like you said, like not the entire song has to sit in that range, but the majority of it should. And I always say, like, why are you making your life so hard? Why are you singing Mariah Carey? You don't have to sing Mariah Carey. Like you can sing anything your heart desire. Like let's focus on your strengths first.
Right, exactly.
And then we'll explore. I'm not saying that you should never push your voice. You absolutely should. But when it comes to singing, performing, recording a video, whatever it is you're doing, singing at karaoke night, like do something that you're comfortable with. First of all, your voice will be so much more consistent that way.
Yes.
You're not going to have to be on stage crossing your fingers and your toes and everything you can to be like, I hope I won't crack on the high note today. Like, no, if you feel comfortable, your voice is so much more consistent.
Yes.
And like you said, your audience picks up on that.
Yep.
If you are straining through a song, your audience can hear that.
Absolutely. Absolutely. And keys exist for a reason.
Oh my God. Yeah.
It's so important to understand that just because I'm not the only one is on F major, you can't sing it on A or D or wherever you want, lower or higher. It doesn't matter. If your voice requires a different key, let it. Use it.
Yes. I always say make the song fit the voice, not the voice fit the song.
Like a pair of shoes.
Yeah, yes. Like a pair of shoes.
You don't try and fit your foot in a shoe that's too small or too big because it's gonna be uncomfortable.
No, it's gonna be so uncomfortable.
Can't walk.
Yes. It's the same thing. I love that analogy. That is such a great analogy. And also there's a reason why the original song is in the key that it's in.
Yeah.
It's because that's the key that fit the original singer the best.
Yes.
It's very possible that if they were not the writer and, that somebody else wrote the song, that song was originally written in a different key.
I love finding those TikToks or reels on the internet where it's like demos.
Yes.
And like,
do you follow? Oh my God, what's her name? Red hair. Oh, shit, what's her name?
I don't know.
Redhead, lots of makeup, sparkly, and oh my God, what's her name?
Maybe
Bonnie McKee.
Yes, she did. Teenage Dream.
Yes.
Yes.
Yeah, she's a lot of K-pop. She's written many major hits.
Yes.
And she's kind of like, here's the demo, and here's the end version of like what the artist made it.
Exactly.
And sometimes they're in a different key.
Most of the time.
Yes.
Because we're all different people. Like it's
Yep.
really hard to match exactly our range to someone else. Like it's the same thing as like foundation color. Like sometimes you need to mix in a little bit of a lighter one or a darker one.
Yes.
We are human and it's okay. I feel like a lot of singers, some students included, I also struggled a lot with this. No, I want to keep it in the original key. For why?
Ego. It's your ego. And I was so guilty of that too.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Just because you can doesn't mean you should.
Exactly. And it's going to sound so much better if you do it in the key that suits your voice.
Yeah. And it might even be a higher key, right? Because a lot of times it's like, well, I don't want to lower the key because I don't want people to think I can't sing. Whatever.
Right.
Right? Like, but sometimes it's also possible that a higher key works better for you. You just have to play around with it. There's this really cool tool on the internet, and it's free to use. If you use Chrome as your web browser, you can download a Chrome extension called Transpose. It's free, and it lets you change the key of any YouTube videos.
Yeah.
So if you're looking at like karaoke channels, like Sing King or Carafun or whatever. Also, I did not know for the longest time that they were singing Sing King.
Yeah.
I was always like, why are they singing sinking? Like a ship sinking. And then I was like, oh my God, they're saying Sing King. Anyways,
wow.
You can go through those channels, like find the song that you want to do. It's not the right fit, no problem. Like change or adjust the key with this Chrome extension Transpose.
I love it.
Free to use, just type it in Google, Transpose Chrome extension, it'll be right there.
It's so fun.
I use it all the time.
It's so fun. Yeah. It's needed. And if you want to go the extra mile, you're like, I want to record this, download that link, put it in a software and transpose it. It's not that hard. It's just extra steps. But that's huge for finding the right song. Yeah. And it could be any song. Like, obviously, there's limitations in terms of range. If a song is too rangy, there's, only so many keys we can try. But also, if the song is too rangy, you can modify the range. You don't have to go as high or as low.
Yes.
Alter the melodies. There's so many ways to make songs work. And just because the artist does it one way doesn't mean we have to.
Yeah. If we look at video games, that's something that we were working on together as well. Go play a video game. Like, it goes low. You could, if that's too low for you, even if you adjust the key.
Yeah.
You can go play a video game. Like, you can go up, or you can do other things, and no one's gonna be like, well, she
Yeah.
chickened out of those low notes. She
Exactly.
obviously isn't a good singer. Like,
No.
yeah, make changes to it. We
And
do that
it's-
all the time in lessons.
Yeah, and it's authentic.
Yeah.
It's more interesting because the original already exists.
No need to copy it exactly.
We
the
don't
same
need
way.
a second version of it.
So let's dig into that, because I feel like,
Mhm.
okay, we covered song choice, right? So you pick a song that you feel comfortable with.
Yeah.
Right? First of all, just some like physically
Mhm.
that you feel physically good with. And then adjust the key to whatever it is you need to adjust it to. It might be a half step, it might be the original, that's fine too. It might be 3 half steps, it might be 5 half steps, whatever you
Mhm.
need, right? So make the song fit your voice.
Yes.
Buy shoes in the right size.
Exactly.
Right? So we got that. Cool. We have the song, we have the key.
Mhm.
Now, how do I go about making the song, like honoring the original,
Mhm.
but making, like, creating my own version out of it that highlights my style, my sound. And then, we can even go into like, well, what is my sound?
Mhm.
It's kind of like a whole other big topic too. But how do you, so because I see you post covers on social media all the
Yeah.
time.
I love.
How do you go about it? You have the song picked.
Mhm.
What's your next step?
I try to just like once I know which song I'm doing, I listen to it. I usually know it by the time I'm gonna record it. Sometimes I don't. Sometimes I'm like, I kind of know it. Let's try.
Yeah.
And then I don't listen to it. Then I just play it, or
Mhm.
whether it's an instrument or a track, and over, and I just let my mind wander. Like, okay, I know the bass melody.
Mhm.
What else is there that I can grab?
I love that, because
Mhm.
something I struggled with early on as a songwriter was when I had a melody in my head and I wrote that, it was so difficult for me to make changes to it.
Mm.
I would keep going back to that same melody. I'm like, oh, I want to do something else, but I can't think of anything else because I have this in my head. It's stuck in my head. So it's
Yeah.
kind of similar here, where if you know the original so well,
Mhm.
that's all you can hear, it can get a little bit more tricky. There's ways we can solve that issue,
Yeah.
right? We can talk about that. But it seems like you're taking the approach of like, well, I know the song,
Mhm.
but it's not so stuck in my head so that I can start exploring and,
Exactly. And always look for points of contrast. Like, okay, if the song has, let's say that you're working on a verse and there's 4 lines in that verse. The first line goes da 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 da, second da 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 da, third da 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 da. By that third one, you're like, okay, like I know it.
Mm-hmm.
Change up the fourth.
Mm-hmm.
Like make it different. If it goes up, go down instead.
Da 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 da.
Exactly. Boom, contrast.
Yeah,
Cool.
yes.
Yeah, because it just makes things interesting. It doesn't have to be a crazy switch up of notes. You don't have to change octaves. Like, it's not, crazy
Yeah.
to change things. Like the video games. You're just completely,
Video games.
switching it up.
I like it.
And I'm not going,
Yeah.
I'm not changing it that much. So there's just room for play, I think.
Mhm.
I think a cool thing to try if you've never done this is just put it in a loop, if you can, just over and over and over, and just have fun. Maybe have one device recording it so you're not losing your ideas as you're going through it. And just sing the same verse over and over and over until you're like, wait, that was cool.
Mhm.
What was that choice? And then listen back.
Mhm.
And now you have a different take on it that's not the original. And that's you. That came from you, not the artist.
Yeah.
And it's hard. It's not easy, especially if it's not something that people do every day all the time. And
It almost goes like into
overwhelming.
training your songwriting brain
Yes,
a little bit.
it
'Cause
does.
You're changing the melody slightly.
Mhm.
And again, like you said, you don't have to go crazy. One thing I personally like to do too is listen to other covers. And
I was
see
thinking
what
of
they
that.
did, like where their brains went. I'm like, oh my God, I really love this. I'm gonna steal that too. Like,
Yeah.
I'm gonna do that too. Or like, I'm like, oh, I really love this, but I'm gonna make one more little change. I'm gonna, whatever. And so, just listening to what other people are doing and what they are hearing can inform you, and you can learn so much from that. So you can play with it too.
Exactly. I have a lot of students where I introduce this topic and it's terrifying for them. They're like, I have no idea how to do this. This is not in my wheelhouse. And I'm like, okay, find 3 covers of the same song.
And YouTube is full of it.
Oh my gosh. Yeah.
Yeah.
And just let your brain absorb information and see what's possible that is not the original 100%.
Yeah.
Even live performances are different.
Yes.
That's another avenue to look for inspiration.
Absolutely. Covers and live performances is where we can get inspiration. And then you just be playful. Like, don't judge yourself. No. You're gonna sing off key.
At some point. Yeah.
You will.
Yeah.
And it's okay. Let it happen.
Yeah.
You're just playing. You're trying things out. It doesn't need to be perfect from day one. Right? Like, play around with it. See what you like. And if at the end of the, the little session of that loop, you're doing it over and over and over again, you absolutely hate everything. Oh, well.
That's okay.
That's okay. Then that means like, well, you really love the original melody here. So maybe the verse isn't the place to make a melodic change. Maybe you want to do it somewhere else in the song. And I also believe that it's okay if you don't make any melodic changes in certain songs. You could even just switch up the rhythm slightly. Like the phrasing. Exactly. So besides melodic things that we can change, what are some other things that we can do to make the song our own a little bit more?
Yeah, I think it's kind of like speaking in a way. So if I'm saying, hi, how are you? But 2 hours go by and I'm tired, I'm not going to say it in the same amount of energy.
Yeah.
Hi, how are you? I'm saying the same thing, but it's just a different version of it. So maybe thinking of the time and space of each phrase and how can we shift it a little bit so that it feels more like you. I sometimes just like speak the words out. Like if we're doing, I know we were talking about Valerie, right? So if I'm saying, well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water. I took pauses at times because I was thinking of what I'm saying.
Yeah.
If I translate that to the song, it's the same. So if the original is, well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water. Let's say that's just like the bass.
Yeah.
Let's pause it. Well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water. And I'm still in tempo.
Yeah. The tempo doesn't change. It's not like the music keeps going and you're starting to fall behind or you go ahead or anything like that. We do need to make sure that that's still there. That's very important. But you made some slight
little
phrasing changes, very small little things, but now your personality is coming through.
Exactly.
And you're not copying exactly what Valerie.
What Valerie
Amy
did.
Yes, what Amy Winehouse did.
Exactly. And it's not like you have to change every single phrase. That's overdoing it.
Yes.
Don't do that.
Yes.
Pick and choose. If you have 8 lines, change 2.
As a rule of thumb for me personally, what I usually like is I'm sticking to the original for the first verse and the chorus.
Cool.
And I'm not really
Fair.
switching anything unless something is really like, wow, like I want to do it exactly this way. But I'm not actively trying to go and make changes in the first verse and chorus. That's what, for me, the second verse and second chorus
You're
and the bridge.
growing.
Exactly.
Expanding.
But that's going to be different from person to person.
Yeah. Also, like, it depends what type of cover you're doing.
Yeah.
For example, what I do when I do covers live is different than when I do covers on, social media.
Ooh, okay.
Because social media, in a way, is your window of exposure. So you're not going to sing the most boring part of the song.
Yes.
You're going to sing the part of the song that maybe has a little bit more dynamics, that has a little bit more emotion.
It's like an audition cut.
Yes. So even if I choose the first verse, I'm not going to sing the same exact way. Because it's, 90 seconds?
Yeah.
So that is when I would be like, okay, maybe let's think of switching it up from the beginning. But again, not like every single line.
Totally agree.
But if you're doing it live, yeah, of course. Let it breathe.
Pace yourself. Pace yourself.
Yeah.
Okay, so we got phrasing, where phrasing, depending on who you're talking to, in this case here, we're talking about just changing the rhythms slightly, adding some pauses where it feels right, or quote unquote speeding up. You're not speeding up, but you're just getting through rhythms a little bit faster, through notes a little bit faster, but you're not actually faster than the music.
Yeah.
Let's not do that. That's going to end up in disaster.
neither.
It could also be you're holding a note longer or not as long. That's part of phrasing as well. So with the chorus, like, why don't you come on over, Valerie? How long do you want to hold that, Valerie? Or Valerie. Now we have a little riff at the end there too, right? Something that we can add. And yeah, like be playful with the length of the notes.
Exactly.
And then I already added a riff. So that's kind of like the next thing. Well, actually, I feel like that's the next thing. So I break it. I break that down into two parts.
Yeah.
On the one hand, we have the tone that you're using. And on the other hand, we have the embellishments that we're using. So I usually go with tone first and then with embellishments. So Valerie. That's just how my voice comes out naturally. Cool. Okay, great. And how Amy Winehouse sings it as well. What if I go,
deeper.
Valerie?
Completely different.
Now it's breathy. Completely different, right? So we can play around with different tones. Like, even if like somebody is belting a note, doesn't mean you have to as well. You can sing it in a breathy voice. You can switch into a head voice on purpose, or just like exploring different tones. Like not using exactly the same tones that the original singer is using, but being playful with it.
Exactly. And play with what the song's about. Like, I know we're gonna get there.
No, I love it. No, I love it. Let's go into it.
You know, if you're covering a song, try and go deeper than, oh, it's just pretty. Like, sure, music is pretty.
Way to call me out. Okay.
But like, what does it mean?
Yes.
You know, what's the story behind it? Paint a picture. Have something visual that makes you connected to it so that you're not just singing pretty notes. It's a story. However big or small or superficial or like big and emotional, like it is a story and you are the interpreter. So feel it. You know, like it doesn't have to be the most dramatic act ever.
Yeah.
But
I mean, Valerie is it's a fun, uplifting
it's cool.
song.
It's fun. So yeah, thinking about like, you know, trying to connect it to your own story or just making one in your head, or if you think of a movie when you see this, like whatever. It can be anything and you know, whatever floats your boat, but just try and feel something when you're saying those words, when you're singing out, and not just focusing on the pretty sounds, because again, that's gonna come across. People notice if you're showing off or if you're connecting.
Yes. Notes to self. Yes, I know those things. I
I
preach about that all the time. Let's start doing it ourselves.
It's hard because we want to show off. Of course we do. We're singers.
Yeah, it is. But you're so right. And tone especially informs emotion.
Oh yeah. It's so important. I think, you know, in that play moment of you figuring out what type of tone you're going to be using, just like play with like your physicality. If you don't know how to modify your tone, look at yourself in the mirror, say the word, and then do it in different ways. Valerie, Valerie. It's going to change dramatically.
Well,
you know
and
what I mean?
it's also, and I feel like this is where imitation comes in, right? Like, pretend like you're an opera singer singing it, Valerie. Like, okay, cool, that's a little bit over the top, but like, all right, cool, let's tone. Like, how is this different from just Valerie? Okay, there's so much more space back here, so what if I tone down that space a little bit? Valerie. That's different from Valerie, but it's not operatic.
Out the back, yeah.
Right?
Exactly.
So, you know, like don't be afraid to explore the extremes and then just turn down the dial a little bit.
Because you don't know what each side looks like and feels like.
Yeah.
And sure, the absolute extreme might be too much.
Yeah.
Or too little.
Pretend like you're Billie Eilish singing it in breathy voice.
Just like pretend you're a character.
Yeah.
Like it's playing, it's acting. And
I
that's
love
how
that.
you find
Yeah.
it. Yeah.
I can't even do that.
No?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That's so unnatural for me to make those sounds. That is so funny. So
I'm a
there's
little squeaky toy.
no, but there's probably something there too where it's like, okay, well,
Yeah.
like something a little bit higher and like a little bit brighter. Like, why not?
Yeah.
Just
Exactly.
explore.
Yeah. It's fun. I think just giving yourself the playtime
Yeah.
is super cool.
Yeah.
Because we just take it so seriously. Like, oh, I have to record a cover. Like, first off, music is fun. If it's not fun, you're not doing it right.
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean? It's just, it should feel good. It should feel free.
So approach it from a playful angle, not like this needs to be perfect and this needs to sound like me and represent me. You're about like,
then what's the point?
yeah, like have fun with it, and if you enjoy it, it is a perfect representation of you,
And people will enjoy it.
yes,
Because you enjoy it.
So we have tones, and then we have the embellishments, right?
yeah.
So this is where Valerie,
Mhm.
a little riff there at the end, or you do vibrato where there's none, or the other way
Flips.
around.
Mhm.
A vocal flips. You can add a little bit of vocal fry.
Mhm.
Like this is where it goes into, what's your sound?
Yeah.
And together with tones that you're creating, but maybe you really love vocal flips, which I do. Valerie,
Mhm.
and a little cry / flip in there.
Cool.
Valerie, like it's a slight difference there, but it's
fair.
something, and it's something that feels right to me.
Yeah.
But I probably wouldn't go Valerie like.
There we go.
Yeah, that was
Yeah.
stunning and beautiful and
Yeah,
amazing.
gorgeous.
Anyways, like I don't know what you're talking about, but that isn't necessarily me.
Right.
That doesn't float my boat,
Doesn't
like you
float your
said
boat.
before.
Exactly.
It doesn't excite me, right? So I'm not gonna do it just because somebody else might do that.
Exactly. Yeah. And I feel like that's a thing. I don't know how much you watch these videos, but singers on social media just like over the top riffing and
Can't stand
just belting and like what? Why? We know you can sing.
Yeah,
But why?
it's not my favorite.
No. I love when it's so much more authentic and less of that.
Yeah.
And then out of nowhere, a really cool one comes in.
Mm-hmm.
That makes me appreciate it so much more.
Mm-hmm.
Because then it's intentional.
Mm-hmm.
It's not just like, oh, look what I can do. Like, it doesn't do anything. I honestly just scroll. I'm like, I don't care.
Yeah.
I'm sorry, but I don't care.
Well, there's a million other people who can sing just as well and do
Exactly.
all these crazy vocal acrobatics too. You got to give us something else
Yeah.
beyond that, like a level deeper, and that's where you were talking about the emotional story behind it. And we can use different tones and different embellishments
To tell that.
to tell that story.
Exactly.
So we have changing the melodies, changing the phrasing, which is rhythms, note lengths, things like that. Then we have the tone and we have the embellishments. And with that, we want to have the storytelling in mind. I mean, phrasing too, right? Like how you phrase something, how you change the phrasing of a song over just a single phrase or whatever can also help with the storytelling, like your version of how you would tell the story.
Yeah. And going back to that, telling a story through words, if you're saying a phrase and you emphasize a specific word in the phrase, that's going to give it a different meaning.
Yes.
So if I'm saying, hi, Lara, how are you?
Yeah.
Lara, how are you?
Yeah.
How are you?
Yeah.
It could be a million different ways to say something.
And there you can also change with changing the melody a little bit. Like if you want to emphasize a word more, that you feel like that I want to give this word more power, more feeling, take it up.
Yeah.
Right? Like make it stand out. Like change the melody on it. Why not? And then boom, you changed one note and it already feels completely different.
Exactly. Yeah.
I love it. Is there anything else? Those are usually the things that I do. I don't know. Maybe you have something else up your sleeve.
Anything else that I do? I mean, one thing that maybe instrumentalists can have fun with. Maybe not all singers. And that's, I don't know how we feel about sharing that side. But if you do happen to have an instrument, or if you know someone that plays it, switching up the genre
Oh, yeah.
is really cool. I love doing that for shows.
Mm.
Even with my own songs, I change the genre of the.
Wow,
it's really
that's
cool.
so cool.
I love it. It's because it just gives it a different feel. It,
Mm-hmm.
you know, if you are able to,
Mm-hmm.
if you care to, switching up a genre is cool.
Mm-hmm.
Whether it's making it a little bit more upbeat or stripping it down to a ballad.
Mm-hmm.
I love Latin music because I'm Latina, but like bossa rhythms, like Brazilian rhythms are really
Mhm.
cool for me. Mixing that with R&B
Mm.
or jazz, but still keeping it kind of like hip hoppy and modern is really
Yeah.
cool. There's so many things you could do with genre. Even if you type in acoustic version karaoke, that already changes it
Yes.
completely.
Yes, absolutely.
Piano version.
Yeah, or acoustic guitar version.
There's some instrumentals that are like cinematic version. It's crazy.
Wow.
It's very specific. It's very niche, but they exist.
Yes, yes. Yeah, that's totally like changing up the genre is super cool. If you have the ability
Yes,
to do
of
so.
course.
I assume not everybody has that or like knows how to go about that.
Mhm.
And that's okay too.
Yeah.
There's a million different things like we just talked about that you can do to still make a song your own, even if you're not changing the genre. But that's a really cool thing that you can do.
It's
Yeah,
fun.
absolutely.
Yeah.
I love it. Thank you so
Yeah.
much for sharing your insights on this because
Of
this
course.
is it can be intimidating. So what would you say is like your number
Mhm.
one tip for somebody who's doing this? Like maybe they're just getting started with it and they're trying to make a song their own.
Mhm.
What's like the number one thing that you would advice that you would give them?
Listen to your favorites.
Mm.
Listen to people doing covers.
Yeah.
Just absorb data into your brain, and then you're gonna have options. Because if you just sit and are like, I want to sing but I don't know how, or like a cover but I don't know how to make it my own, you're just gonna run yourself into a wall. Like,
yeah. Well, you're not
first-
even gonna get started. You're not even gonna start running, so you're not even hitting the wall.
Yeah, you're just like collapse.
Yeah,
Right? So
yeah.
listen.
Yeah.
I would listen and then go from there. Okay, this person did this person did that. The original does this. What do I like most?
Yes, I love that so much. And that's exactly why we created the Singer to Artist Transformation Program to teach people how to listen. That was the biggest thing for it. Like we gotta have the vocal abilities first, then we need to learn how to listen, and then we need to learn how to do it.
Yeah.
And
I had a teacher that said in music school, the most important part of music is silence. And that changed my life.
yes, I love that.
You need to listen. There needs to be space. We can't overfill it.
Yeah. Oh my God, over singing. Like you said, like, you know, riffs and runs and blah, 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 like, oh my God, stop it.
Yeah.
But that also goes into like holding notes.
Mm-hmm.
Well, sometimes I go out by myself and I look across the water. Like, oh my God.
Take a break.
Stop singing. No, but, you know, in the sense of like, give it time to breathe and the space.
Mm-hmm.
Like you said, I love that. I would say my biggest thing besides listening and getting inspiration there and like giving you something to start out with is don't judge yourself.
Oh, yeah.
Just go for it. Be playful.
Have fun.
Try out a couple different things. You're going to hit so many wrong notes.
Yes.
And it's okay. You're just trying out different things. See what you like. See what you don't like. Don't judge yourself. Just go for it. Have fun.
The cool thing is that you're only
And then just start plucking out notes and see what you like.
Mm-hmm. Exactly.
That can be helpful too.
Yeah. It's just data. We're organizing information in our brains.
Yes, I love it. I love it. Thank you so much, Juliana, Coach Juliana, sharing your wisdom with us, helping us all become artists.
I love that.
If you have any questions, let us know. We're always here to help. Feel free to book a session with us if you want to work with Juliana herself.
I'm here.
There you go. We'd love to help you. Other than that, we'll catch you in the next one. Bye-bye.